First of all, I just want to say that Zambia and Zimbabwe have been honored with the privilege to co-host the 20th session of the UNWTO this year in August, between the 24th to the 29th. And we are citing the Victoria Falls as the destination. 20th session of the UNWTO General Assembly, which was co-hosted by Zambia and Zimbabwe in August last year, first of all, was very successful. And to quote what the Secretary General, Taleb Rifai, stated, and said that it was one of the best, well-attended and well-organized General Assembly.
Sylvia Masebo, born 7th March 1963, was appointed President Hakainde Hichilema's health minister. This came with mixed feelings from members of the public and interest groups. Some doubt her ability to deliver, while others say she is the right person for the job. Her track record is of one who came on the scene as Lusaka deputy mayor in the early 90s. Being unafraid to speak her mind, Masebo led other MMD members in expressing dissatisfaction with the party. This led to her exit from the ruling party then and following Ben Mwila in the newly formed Zambian Republican Party ZRP. Mwila was former defense minister. Having won the Chongwe seat, Masebo was looped into government by Levi Mwanawasa in 2003 and made local government and housing minister, then health minister in 2005, replacing Branch Tuo. But under the New Dawn administration, what is she inheriting? On Wednesday, February 21, 2007, Lusaka magistrate Edward Msona jailed Kashiwa Bulaya for 5 years with hard labor on abuse of office and corruption charges, saying he deserved to be in prison for the crimes he had committed. This is in a matter in which Bulaya, a former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health, was alleged to have misappropriated about 3 billion kwacha and rebased, then the equivalent of around $600,000 public funds meant to buy immune boosters Elixir 9 for people living with HIV/AIDS. Magistrate Musona said, according to his findings, he was satisfied that Bulaya and his business partner, Dr. Angelo Yusuf, were directors in 2 companies, Butico A1 and Anbao Investment, that supplied the drugs to the ministry. Magistrate Msona said when Elixir 9 was supplied to the Ministry of Health in 2001, it had not yet been subjected to a clinical test for quality assurance in Zambia before it was sold to the public. He noted that the National Formulary Committee that selected medicine to be used in public did not approve the public consumption of Elixir 9. Magistrate Msona also found that there was movement of money from Ministry of Health to Butico A1 and finally into Bulaya's account, an initial 116.7 million kwacha and rebased, and a further 913.4 million kwacha, still unrebased, as gratification from Dr. Yusuf. 2010, mobile hospitals. Rupiah Banda, who was president then, bought $53 million mobile hospitals from the China National Aero Technology Import and Export Corporation. This was under a loan funded by the XIM Bank of China. In May 2009, foreign aid for government health projects in Zambia, where most of the national health budget is donor-funded, was frozen after allegations of corruption. The Dutch and Swedish governments announced that they were suspending aid after a whistleblower alerted the Anti-Corruption Commission to the embezzlement of $2 million from the Ministry of Health by top government officials. Kapembwa Simbao was minister then. Then came Kapoko. In August 2018, Principal Resident Magistrate ex-Norbert Zulu convicted former Ministry of Health Chief Human Resource Development Officer Henry Kapoko and 2 others for theft by public servant and money laundering involving 6.8 million kwacha. In this matter, Kapoko and 5 others were facing 20 counts of theft by public servant involving over 6.8 million kwacha. The suspects were also facing 49 counts of money laundering involving 24 vehicles, 2 lodges, 3 houses, a filling station and several bank accounts, among other things. No Ministry of Health scandal, however, can beat the dizzying heights of those presided over by former Minister Chitalo Chilufya. According to News Diggers, Research at the Ministry of Health showed that Mission Pharma, a Danish company with a subsidiary in Lusaka, had an active contract to supply and deliver drugs to Zambia for several years and was a key government partner for supplying health center kits. However, owing to an $11 million drug supply debt, the company stopped supplying in December 2018, demanding that government first settles its debt, a move that forced the Ministry of Health to find a replacement. According to Ministry of Health sources, tender number MOHSP 03219 was issued following decision to procure 50,000 health center kits through a limited bidding process. Records at the ministry show that a solicitation document for the tender was issued on October 7, 2019, and the evaluation of bids was done on October 22, 2019, while the contract between Honey Bee Pharmacy Limited and the Ministry of Health was signed on November 22, 2019. But Patents and Companies Registration Agency PACRA records do not show a company that existed prior to 2019 registered as Honeybee Pharmacy Limited. Research showed that Honeybee Pharmacy had been a sole trading name for an individual named Imran Lunat, with records at PACRA indicating that it was registered as a business name on April 14, 2016. On October 16, 2019, another company called Honeybee Pharmaceuticals Limited was incorporated with shareholders namely Zakir Hussein Motala, Abdurrauf Motala, and Yusuf Jassat. But, according to Ministry of Health records, this was not the name of the company that was awarded the $17 million contract. The company that was awarded that contract is Honeybee Pharmacy Limited. Later on, there was panic and finger-pointing during a Parliamentary Accounts Committee (PAC) hearing of the Ministry of Health drug supply scandal as government officials and directors of the Honeybee Pharmacy sweated to explain how the $17 million contract was awarded to an unregistered company which delivered toxic drugs and substandard condoms and gloves to the Zambian public. And Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Kakuluberwa Mulalelo was stripped of her role of controlling officer at the Ministry of Health and has remained on suspension. Later on, however, Chief Resident Magistrate Lamek Mwale acquitted Health Minister Dr. Chitalu Chilufya after the prosecution said they would offer no further evidence in a matter. He was charged with 4 counts of possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime. On January 10, 2021, President Edgar Lungu fired Dr. Chilufya. As she takes lead of the embattered ministry, people will want to remember that during Michael Sata's tenure, Sylvia Masebo served as Minister of Tourism and Arts until March 20th, 2014. In July 2015, the Anti-Corruption Commission arrested Ms. Masebo and charged her with 2 counts of abuse of authority of office when she served as Minister of Tourism and Arts. It was alleged that she cancelled the procurement of a tender process of the Zambia Wildlife Authority Zawa hunting concession. She was, however, acquitted for the charges. It was learnt that Masebo, together with then Vice President Guy Scott and Justice Minister Winter Kabimba, went to President Michael Sata to inform him that there was a lot of corruption at Zawa and there was need to do something about the situation. In the meeting, President Sata is said to have advised Masebo as the minister in charge to do what she thought was best. It is believed that Masebo misconstrued President Sata's advice and went on to dissolve the Zawa board and fired its director, Edwin Matokwani, along with Melody Zeko, Tolino Banda, Rose Chivumba, and Andrew Sampa, and appointed an interim management headed by Zen Vlahakis. Masebo is an entrepreneur with a Bachelor of Science in Banking and Finance. She is the Health Minister. And this is the story.